It's December 2025 here in South Texas. We're halfway into the hunting season. We're off to a slow start. Perhaps it was those late rains in July and August that turned the South Texas brush into a green and plush landscape. And we all know that archery is one of the most challenging ways to harvest big game. And the whitetail buck is no exception. But the season doesn't start in September. It starts in February when the season ends with supplemental feeding, blind preparation, practicing shots, and scouting. As we approach the archery season in South Texas in October, our cameras were up. That's when you start scouting for potential target bucks. Now, unlike Western hunting, archery in South Texas is typically done from a pop-up tent or from a shooting house. Primarily, you're going to be shooting sitting down, and that's how you have to practice. You need to practice 20, 25, 30, and 35 yards. The average shot in South Texas, I would say, is between 25 and 34 yards, and you've got to be ready. So the most important factors to be successful in archery in South Texas is paying attention to the wind, the approach that you make to your stand, covering your scent, and not being visible, being stealth. All of those factors come into play. And when the moment of truth happens, you've got to be disciplined and wait for the target buck to line up. If you can follow all of those things, you increase your chances to success. One of the other big factors you got to remember is not to pressure your spots. If you see a big buck, try to go after him. But just as you're tracking the buck's tracking you. You put too much pressure on one spot, you're gonna blow your cover. That buck will move on. This December the 5th, it finally happened. We've been tracking this buck that we called the Monarch. At 5 p.m. on Friday, December 5th, he finally came in. There'd be other encounters with him prior to that, but he was a wise and skittish 7.5-year-old 13-point buck. So sit back and enjoy this video of the South Texas whitetail that we call the Monarch. Today's December 5th, 2025, 5 o'clock this afternoon. A big buck with a drop time comes into this one spot called the Blueberry. 7.5 years old, 29 yards, 18 minutes it took him to line up, and finally took the shot. Looked like we hammered him. I was sitting in this bow blind right here. So it's been about 40 minutes. There's the arrow. It's covered in blood from tip to tip. Okay, so that's a good sign. He would have gone this way and jumped out over here. So we're gonna go ahead and start tracking, looking for blood. I'll take the bow with me. Come on. So that's my first sign of blood right here. Yeah, first sign of blood. There it is. We got a blood trail. He would have run this way. Looking for more trauma. December 5th, 2025. Tracked the buck with my Chihuahua Johnny Ringo. He kept coming towards this little mott. Johnny did. So I said, you know what, let me follow him, see what's going on. I mean, he's helped me find deer before, but he's not a tracker. But he kept coming back to this mott, so I walked through this mott over here, and lo and behold, here he was, laying down. The Monarch, my first drop time buck of my life. There it is. Beautiful South Texas trophy. 13-point whitetail, 7.5-year-old buck. Matthews Vertex HLRs. There you got it. I gotta drag him back. He's pushing over 200 pounds, this big boy.